Like, imagine expecting yourself to be minister because you've contributed so much, and then you're not even the secretary, you're the deputy there, you're the assistant. Chat. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Keziah, and welcome everyone to my first ever episode of Wicked Wednesday, where I just talk about true crime. This is not the only different type of video episode I'll have on my channel. I'll also be talking about historical figures or just popular people in general that are interesting to me, and giving you guys some little history and backstory. On my first episode today, I wanted to do a Zambian. This initially was supposed to be just a history video, but just one thing that triggered me, that made me put this in Wicked Wednesday. So the person we're talking about today is Adamson Mushala. I never knew anything about this man until my friends told me about him. Shout out to you, Hope. Yeah, so let's get into the video. So Adamson Mushala was born in 1935 in Northwestern Province among the Kaonde and Nyoka people. In 1995, there was a lot of tension in many African countries with regards like colonialism, independence. Like many African countries were experiencing nationalist struggles. So Mushala grew up around that environment. He went to primary school when he was 12 years old, as it was very typical around that time, as we know, for our grandparents to go to school very late in life. So he went to Keziah mission when he was 12, is when he entered primary school. He went to secondary school at Mukenge Mission School, moved on to Mutanda Mission School. It is said that he was an above average student. He was a very smart man, and he had like a strong personality. He wasn't a bully, but it is said that he had a very strong personality. At some point, however, in his high schooling life, he was involved in... If his fly doesn't leave me alone. He was involved in a riot of some kind concerning the poor diet in the school. However, it is said that he wasn't the mastermind behind the riot. So he was a very smart man. Now, because at the time he was in school, it was around the time African countries were not at ease or were trying to revolt against the colonial masters. He grew up in an environment that was very nationalist. Like where Zambians, I'm saying Zambians because he was Zambian, and yeah, I'm just going to say Zambians, not Africans in general. So where Zambians were basically tired of the colonial government, they wanted their freedom. So he had very nationalistic views, and after he finished his secondary school, he went on to participate in national politics. Like, he was very interested in national politics because he held these nationalist views on his own because of the environment he grew up in. After he finished his high school, he became a part-time member of UNIP in 1961, and then he would go on to become a full-time member of UNIP. And after joining UNIP, he would go on to become constituency chairman of Keziah. One of the notable events that happened while he was chairman was the burning of Mutanda School, where he went for his education, and the assaulting of 2 policemen in Zolezi in 1962. I actually don't know what book I'm doing, but I wanted something bright because it's summer. I wanted something like orange or pink. So I guess that's the direction we're going today. So in the 1960s, towards the independence of Zambia, nationalist struggles, like, they heightened. Like, there was a lot of tension. People wanted freedom. Kaunda and his people wanted freedom. So in order to facilitate that, Mushala and many other young UNIP members were sent to Egypt and China to undergo guerrilla training. I'll put the word right here, but it's guerrilla. It's guerrilla. Yes, yeah. They were sent there to undergo guerrilla training so that in case there was war during the struggle for independence, Zambia had men that were able to fight. So Mushala and some other UNIP members were sent to know how basically they were sent to be trained in combat. So I've changed my mind. I'm going to do an orange look. So I'm going to pack the orange in my need first. So after UNIP had sent some of its young ones, its youth, for the guerrilla, oh my god, this word, for the guerrilla training, because like I said, they were trying to prepare in case war broke out in the struggle for independence, but it did not. It was a smooth transition. Mushala was also hoping that they go to war, they fight for the country. When going, Mushala hoped that when he came back, when they fought or whatever, he would be given a higher post. Like, he wanted a higher post because he thought he'd done enough for the UNIP government and Kaunda at the time. But when they came back, independence had already happened. The British had already handed over power. And yeah, it was peaceful. So when Kaunda was handing out posts, like, you be this, you be that, you be that, you be that, Mushala expected that Kaunda would give him the post of Minister of Wildlife, like the equivalent of a Minister of Wildlife and Forestry and whatnot, that post. But instead, he was knocked down many levels. He was to Deputy Secretary of the Education Committee at Freedom House. Yeah, at the UNIP headquarters in Osaka. Like, imagine expecting yourself to be minister because you've contributed so much, and then you're not even the secretary, you're the deputy, you're the assistant. Child. At this point, this is before I decided to add this because I was like, Kaunda, you don't want us to have a post. But like, that sucks. Like, that sucks, honestly. Minister to Deputy Secretary of the UNIP thingy, like, it's not even like, guys, that sucks. So Mushala wasn't satisfied, and he stayed for a bit, but then he was just like, nah, I feel underappreciated. He felt underappreciated for good reason, you know. Like, I feel underappreciated, so he decided to leave. Now, apart from the seeming dissatisfaction by Mushala for not getting the post he expected to get or wanted to get, there are also many other said reasons why he left UNIP. One of them is because of, the one-party state. Now, for those of you that may be watching me from outside of Zambia and don't know this, in the First Republic, that is 1964 to 1972, Zambia was a one-party state, meaning no other political parties were allowed to operate in Zambia, or at least operate freely. So to you guys, Zambia is the envy of many African countries for its peace and democracy and all that, but that is what used to happen in the First Republic. Like, Kaunda was just like, no, UNIP is the only party. So it was hard for anyone who formed opposition to operate because they were not allowed. It was hard. They would get arrested and all that stuff. So that was another reason why Mushala left. Now, when he left, he joined the ANC. The ANC. Let me fact check that. He first joined the United Party under Nalumino Mundia, but then UNIP closed down that party because it was blamed for violence. It was apparently, UNIP said the party was instigating violence, so it was closed. He joined that party in 1996. Then after the party was closed, he joined the ANC, African National Congress, under Harry Mwanga Nkumbula, who is already name. We all know Harry Mwanga Nkumbula. So After he joined the ANC, he was pretty satisfied with the ANC, right? And then the Choma Declaration happened. The Choma Declaration was a document where UNIP and just UNIP made all opposition parties at the time sign off and basically merge them, like make them part of UNIP. Uncle Mushala wasn't having that. Like, he wasn't happy. He didn't want anything to do with UNIP or Kaunda, like he didn't want. So him and some others left because why would you do something like that? He wasn't happy. He didn't want to be part of UNIP again. But other political parties, ANC, signed off. They joined UNIP. They made a coalition very common because that wasn't a coalition. Kaunda was basically trying to suck up the competition, suck it out, suck the life out of the competition. But so now Mushala is pissed. He doesn't want to rejoin UNIP. Power has been sucked out. He can't form his own party. So what does he do? He's enraged. Now he's acting on rage. Like, he doesn't want these people. He wants to get rid of UNIP. He wants to get rid of Kaunda. He wants to be president. So he seeks out help from the South African government and the Angolan government. Now, it is said that Mushala was heavily influenced and inspired by Jonas Savimbi, an Angolan who initially campaigned and rebelled against the existing Portuguese government, and then after independence campaigned and rebelled heavily against the ruling MPLA-led government. So he wanted to bring that here. He was just like, yeah, I'm doing this in my own country. So yes, it is said that he sought help from South Africa and Angola with his little endeavors. So in 1994, Mushala and his men would go to Angola to get trained in their guerrilla ways, but they did not last long in Angola because of what was going on. And then the secret police, I think they were scared of the secret police, so they left Angola, or maybe the secret police fished them out. So they left Angola and settled in Caprivi, that little thing in Namibia where it's like Zambia to the north, Angola this way, South Africa there. That's where they settled. And then they were trained by South Africans. I think it was a white South African that offered them training. I'm going to skip to that part because I don't really care. They're outside Zambia, so it's like So then they come back and settle in Northwestern Province. Now, in Northwestern Province. Now, before I say that, another reason it is said that Mushala rebelled against Kaunda is because he said Northwestern Province wasn't receiving its share of the Zambian cake. Like, it was very underdeveloped compared to the Bemba dominated provinces like Copperbelt and where state was settled like Lusaka. But the Lusaka argument is kind of true if you look at Zambia today. So Mushala was like, what about Northwestern Province? Where is the development? Now, his actions though, they don't prove that he cared about Northwestern Province, because when he came back and settled in Northwestern Province, he settled in Chief Kanongesha's area. Chief Kanongesha, I would like to believe, is the Kaunde chief. That's why he settled. And he would cause terror. Him and his men would cause terror because now they're scraping for food. They have guns. This is where I decided to fit in this story into Wicked Wednesday, because they had guns, they were terrorizing people, they were stealing from people, and then they would kidnap women and girls. And if they are kidnapping women and girls, they're being abused. You just know. So just like, yuck, Wicked Wednesday, because especially at that time when everyone was very, very traditional, everyone was just objectifying women. They were just abused and made to cook and clean and wash. you know what's going on. So yeah, he sucks for that. Apart from everything else he did, but especially that, he sucks for that. So yes, they would go on to terrorize the people. They would steal from them. It was so bad in Chief Kanangisha's area that people were afraid to go out, go to their farms. And as you know, farming is a big part of Zambian life. It's a big part of Zambian traditional life. So it was just horrible. The chief wouldn't do anything about it. They had guns. I don't think the chief had guns. So Kaunda would hear about it in State House. He would hear that, oh, this is what is happening in Northwestern Province. So he would send the police, like, go catch these people. Because first of all, apart from the terror he was wreaking, of course he was coming for Kaunda. So Kaunda was like, catch him before he gets here, because before he gets powerful and all that, catch him. So Kaunda would deploy the police to go to Northwestern Province, try to catch these men. Mushala and his men, his band of men, tried to catch them, send them to prison. But they were very unsuccessful. The police would go there and not come back. The police would go there and not come back. Like, it is said that Mushala and his men, when going to war or to a gunfight with the police, when they are shot at, they would literally disappear. They had like these, I don't know if it's necklaces or chains, or I don't know where they used to wear them, but at the point they wear them and they go to war, they would just disappear. They'll be gone. The police were unable to catch them for a long time. It is said that Mushala had this medicine man who was high in the groups, in the band's ranking. His name was Yotam Chimwanga. Like, he had powerful medicine, which, you know, like, I think he was like of Congolese, Angolan descent, and you know what goes down. You know what goes down. So he was so powerful. He had high rankings in the group. So he would give the men, when it's time to go out, like they know they're about to wreak some violence, he would give the men some portions and they would wear the things, and it is said that they would literally disappear when they are shot at. For a long time, they would not get caught. So like, Mushala and his people were a menace to Kaunda and the people of Northwestern Province. At the time, it was rumored that Mushala used to make rounds in State House. Like, KK would simply be existing, maybe eating or whatever, and he would get a surprise visit from Mushala. Not that he would see him, but the story that I read was like him dining and then food is just going, like food is disappearing, like food is moving. Now, that's probably a myth, that's probably just a hyperbole to make the story more interesting, but like, can you imagine being the most powerful man in Zambia and having to deal with such things? Like, can you imagine that? That's scary. So yeah, now, because this medicine man Yotam was so crucial to the band's existence, he had this power, but then he died. I don't know if he was killed. I'm not sure if he was killed or he died of natural causes, but he died. And when he died, the existence of the band his death affected the existence of the band. Not that people started leaving, but Mushala and his men's ability to disappear, Shani, basically they were weak now. They didn't have their main source of power. So things started to go left after this, because when the Secret Service found out, can you imagine, it went from the police to the Secret Service. When the Secret Service realized that their enemies were weak, they started moving in. So the Secret Service started moving into the Secret Service, the Zambian army started moving into Northwestern Province when they heard that they were already there, but more of them moved when they heard that their medicine man had died. In 1982, the Secret Service received a tip from one of Mushala's wives about where he was and what he was doing and stuff, where they would find him, or maybe his weaknesses. Maybe she told them that. I guess this was sad because for you to betray your husband, she was probably being abused as well, or maybe neglected. She said enough is enough. So the Secret Service received a tip from one of his wives, and Mushala was gunned down in a field. I think it was a field. Don't quote me on that. Mushala was gunned down. Now Mushala was so prolific and instilled so much fear in the people of Northwestern Province and some in Zambia as well, that when he died, the Secret Service made sure people knew. So his pictures of him dead on a field was put in the paper and it was televised because people needed to know that he had died. But I guess that was also like, it just can't be that you're trying to save people. I guess that was also like my glue has dried down. I guess that was also a fear thing, if we're being honest, for like ZP and the administration of the day, because maybe other people and other places were getting ideas as well, because Mushala and his group, they were good for a while. They were good for a while, but they instilled so much fear in the people, particularly of Northwestern Province, Chief Kalongesha's area, that the police wanted people to know he was dead. So his pictures were out there. His pictures of his dead body were out there. If you search the internet, you will see a picture of his dead body lying just there, because they wanted people to know it was safe again, like it was okay. Now, as we all know from maybe movies, drug lord movies especially, when the Don dies, things go south for the entire group. So his second in command takes over, and they still exist for a while. But Mushala is dead. The king is dead. The Don is dead, and the medicine man is dead. It would probably have been different if the medicine man was alive as well, but he is also dead. So his second in command, Alexander Siambwene, takes over the group, takes over command of the group. He's now the leader of the group. After some time though, Mushala died in 1982, as I said. The second in command handed himself over in 1990. Mushala died in 1982, which means for those 8 years, the group was still in operation, like it was still intact. But it was so shaky, so unstable, that he had to hand himself over because some members of the group were leaving and all that. So he hands himself over to Alexander something, who was the chairman of UNIP in the area at that time, and they fly him over to Lusaka where he is arrested. But it also doesn't last because KK pardons him, and yeah. Now, that's the story of Mushala and his band. However, the people of Northwestern Province at the time, the trauma that was caused to them still lives on. It is said that because of the existence of Mushala and his band in Chief Kalongesha's area, it also contributed to the lack of development in the area at the time, but also maybe currently, because agriculture was their main economic activity, but they couldn't do that. If they did, they would end up, their harvest would be stolen by Mushala and the band, or their money would be stolen. So they couldn't really do that, but it is said that people of the area where Mushala and his band lived are still traumatized even years after Mushala died. I had to do my lashes off camera, but that's the end of the story. That's the end of Mushala's story. There was a term they used to call him, but I don't know how to pronounce it, and I lost my notes on that. I think it's if this is a word in your language, please feel free to correct me in the comments, or just spell it, or if you know it for a historian, help me. I think it's Vakolopola Mushala. I'll find it. If I find it, I'll put it right here, or I'll say it at this point in the video. But yeah, that's the story of the man called Mushala. I genuinely did not know anything about this until my friends told me. So I guess there's a lot of things I don't know about Zambian history. So if you like this video, let me just finish my makeup and talk. I'm almost done. My last comment. Now, I know this is coming late, but it goes without saying, I am not a historian. I'm just someone who's interested in things. So this is the final look, guys. And that's the end of the video. That's the story of Adamson Mushala. Tell me what you guys think in the comments. Was I right to classify him in the Wicked Wednesday category? Was I right to classify him as wicked? Number one. Number two, do you think even if Kaunda had allowed opposition parties in the First Republic, do you think he would have gone such lengths for power? And do you also think if he had gained power and won, do you think he really had the best interest of the people of Northwestern Province at heart, or it was just a campaign strategy and a ploy to get supporters and to gain power? Tell me what you think in the comments. Also, recommend other stories you guys would like me to do. I already have a list. You know how I roll. I don't go into things unprepared. So I already have things I would like to talk about. But history and crime alike. But let me know what you guys would like to see or hear me talk about while I do my makeup. And yeah, give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, like, comment, all that jazz, turn on post notifications, because I'm not going to stop doing other videos, but it's just an addition. So you will never know when it's Wicked Wednesday, when I'm uploading a new episode of Wicked Wednesday. You never know. So turn on post notifications so that you know you get that notification. And I'll see you guys in my next video. It'll probably be a vlog. Who knows? So subscribe and watch another video. It's right here. Watch another video. See you guys next time.